Got the new X3 in the shop. Project numero uno, windshield. Took a whole bunch of bugs to the face last night, driving it around, trying to break in the belt. And Eric might help a little bit. I'm gonna cut her open. What do we got? Ooh, fancy. Look at that.
Okay.
We got, it comes with zip ties, that's how you know it's going to be a good time. Brackets. Okay, okay. Oh, is that nuts, bolts, screws?
Some more brackets.
Warning labels. What have we gotten into here, man?
He did say it was like a 4-hour deal.
I thought he said it was a 2-hour deal.
Well, 2, what do you say? It was 2 just for the windshield itself, I think.
Well, we got a roof too. I can't imagine the roof's going to be that hard though. So we got everything laid out. We got the wiring harness, got all the brackets, got the 2 pieces of plexi. And first thing we got to do is figure out where we're going to mount our switch. On my personal one, it recommends mounting it in the center console. I'm thinking about mounting it right here in this dead space. So yeah, if you decide to use this right here, this piece literally just pops out of there. I reached around from the back. See, real easy to get to. Really easy to just pop it out from the back. The very next thing it tells you to do is to trim this to make room. I was fortunate enough to have the guys at the dealer warn me not to trim too much off this. They said if you trim as much as Can-Am recommends, you can end up with a really big gap there. So I'm just going to trim just a little bit off of it, and we're going to see how it all fits. Now, the next thing it's telling us to do is to enlarge in these holes in the cage. It says to use a 13/22 drill bit to enlarge them, so that's what we're going to do. She's so new.
It does specify outer.
Do the outer wall, don't touch the inner. So it turns out the Can-Am instructions are kind of garbage and really hard to follow along with, but what we ended up doing was popping up this rear seat to gain access to your battery. You pop the negative before you start playing with your electronics. We pop loose the center console. You got 2 bolts here, 2 bolts up top to get down to your electrics panel. You can see a nab power off the power right there, a nab ground off the stud back here. There's a better shot of it. That stud right there. Just test with your multimeter. You can see which one's the ground stud and which one's a power stud. I think it's the main feed for the winch is actually what I tapped into, but it's easy access. It's right up front. I ran the 2 main PowerFlip wires, just took out these bolts, ran the one up there and the other up there. I went a little lazy with my wiring routing, but who cares? It's my machine. Put some zip ties on. We got the top part on. The top part's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. It's got 2 90-degree rivets. It's got 1 little triangle piece there. You see this bracket comes made on. You're going to put foam strips in there, and then it's got 2 adjuster pieces here, which we actually haven't tightened up because we're going to wait until we have the main part on, and your mirror bolts back on where it was. And then when it comes to your main poly frame, first thing we did was assemble this part together and left it loose, and then we put these 2 brackets on either side with these little things. When I got it, these brass bushings weren't pressed into the frame, so I had to go over to my shop press and press these brass bushings into these brackets. And then there's even going to be another bushing that goes inside of that. The last couple brackets are about to bolt up to the frame, and then let you guys see what it looks like. Right, so now that we got it 99% of the way together, we test fitted it and we're seeing how much of this we're going to trim off. What we're finding is that it's just going to ride along this line. You can kind of already see what we're going to have to trim. So yeah, I'm just going to take my grinder and hop to it, or my Dremel and hop to it. So there it is, folks. Installed flip up windshield.
And I did it.
And she helped. She helped a lot.
I help a lot.
Yeah. You can see I put a little piece of seal over here to cover up the jagged edge from where I had to trim it. You can see how these little power struts mount up. You put tiny little cotter pins in one side of it, and then you hammer the other side through. And yeah, it's just these two bolts that go through the main frame that hold the whole top part, and that's your main pivot joint. You want to ride in it? Okay, we're about to go riding it. And then you got your switch. There's down. And it will stop itself. And then up. You can leave it in the middle and ride with it in any position if you want. One thing I did differently than the kit suggests is I took and put 2 bolts through down here instead of these 2 rivets, because I couldn't find my rivet gun. So you can use the rivets. I got bolts in there for now. I might pick up another rivet gun and then eventually swap back to rivets, but yeah, there it is.